Hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Strike the Blood episode 17, Festia of the Observer 2. If I remember correctly, it'll be in this general area as always. But I have to say, Yuma's mom, Aya, is freaking... She is pretty badass for a witch, but she's just, if she used her powers for good, we always say that, but if she used her powers for good, she would be pretty freaking awesome. But the fact that she's pretty much trying to destroy the world and pretty much killed her own daughter, whom was technically actually a copy of her, shows that she's pretty heartless. But Aya, she went in on this episode. First, she took out 2 librarians without them even noticing at first. And then we go to, well, it cuts to Kojo and Sayaka and Himeragi. And they're all talking, and we find out that the reason why Kojo passed out was because he was hungry, and Yuma hadn't eaten anything while she was in his body, so he passed out from hunger. Which he made it look like he was dying when it was really just because he was hungry. So that explained that one. But we learn about Yuma's situation, and pretty much they're not expecting her to get any better because there's only so much better she can get unless we get a witch who is as strong as Natsuki, whom is the Witch of the Void. So we would have to get somebody as strong as or stronger than Natsuki, which there really isn't, except for Yuma's mother, whom we know she ain't gonna help her daughter if she pretty much killed her herself. So as of right now, there really is no hope for Yuma. And then we learn more about like Asagi and little baby Natsuki, which is what she calls her Sana-chan. So it's like Natsuki is a little kid now because Aya took her memories and her magic. So for the time that she's lost, she's gone back that many years in childhood. So now she's a little kid and she doesn't really remember anybody, but she took a liking to Asagi. I guess she recognized that Asagi was a safe person, so she kind of I would say bonded with her, and that's why she's calling her mother or mama. And we see Asagi and little baby Natsuki-chan walking around the parade. Well, Kojo and Sayaka and Himeragi see her, and Kojo calls Asagi and asks her about Natsuki, and she's like, this is not Natsuki, blah blah blah, because she's just a little kid or whatever, even though Asagi noticed that she looked just like Natsuki, just like a younger version. And then out of nowhere we see the monk again, whom was trying to take Natsuki hostage in the last episode. So we learn more about him. I can't remember his name, but it's really not that important. But he's pretty much like a Buddhist monk whom, like, he consumed a fire spirit so he could use it for his own dirty deeds. But he can summon the fire spirit whenever he wants to because it's like dwelling within his body, and he uses this to try to capture Natsuki and stop Asagi from getting away. And they go through, like, they running through tunnels and stuff, and he's like melting through walls and stuff, and they finally get away. And when they get above ground, they get to the like Guardian district where soldiers are on standby to fight like runaway prisoners, and they start trying to attack him. And then out of nowhere, Dimitri comes up, and he pretty much sucks the fire spirit out of the dude, and he goes back to the prison barrier like everyone else does after they absorb so much damage. So he went back to the prison barrier, and then another person from the prison barrier who was like the tragic diva, I think that was her name. Anyways, she came up, and her abilities are far greater than the Buddhist monk. And she has a whip that can put people in like a zombie mode, and she can pretty much manipulate people that way. And she used this to manipulate all of the soldiers to start shooting at Astarte, so that way she wouldn't be able to protect Asagi and Natsuki, but Dimitri Valter pretty much, like, he used one of his familiars to try to stop her mind control over the soldiers, and she used her familiar to pretty much wrap the serpent up so it couldn't move. But then Dimitri used another familiar, whom were like little itty bitty snakes, that went and attacked her, and he was just having too much fun attacking her because he said that he hasn't had this much fun fighting somebody in a really long time, and she actually put up a pretty good fight. So he was enjoying himself a little bit too much. But he pretty much let his snakes loose on her, and they were tearing her up. And pretty much Asagi and, well, Kojo came up out of nowhere after he had been looking for Asagi, and after him and Himaragi and Sayaka ran out of gas on their little like tank thing. He rode his bike to where Asagi was, and when he finally got there, he told Dimitri that he needs to stop, that he was taking it too far. And then that was when she got sent back, the tragic diva got sent back to the prison barrier. So that was the end of her. So Astarte is kind of out of it because she was using her familiar to help as well, and Asagi still really doesn't know about Kojo being a vampire or whatever. She really doesn't know that much about him. Well, she doesn't know that part about him yet. And she's still trying to figure out what in the world is going on and why he knows Dimitri, because she knows that Dimitri is like the ruler of the demon world or whatever. So she's trying to figure out why they know each other and what's going on with Natsuki and everything. And Dimitri pretty much says that because Natsuki is still in the city, the other people that got out of the prison barrier are still going to be coming after her. And he said that he would protect her on his ship, so that way they would all come to him and wouldn't like destroy the city trying to get to Natsuki. Which Kojo was like, well, if she's going, I'm going too. And Asagi was like, I'll let her go under one condition, that's if you take me too. Whatever. So after all that, and then finally at the end, they show like Yuma laying in bed, and then she wakes up, and then that was the end of the episode. So it looks like things are getting a lot better for Yuma, and it looks like we're going to be seeing more of Yuma, thank goodness, because I like her. But I mean, things are starting to pick up for real in this anime, and I am looking forward to seeing the next episode. But I do have a question. Who do y'all want Kojo to be with? Because there are so many freaking females that want to be with Kojo, but who do y'all think that Kojo should be with? Should it be like, because there's Himaragi, Sayaka, LaFolia, I don't really think Kanase counts. Who else? Yuma. I believe that's the 5. Yuma, LaFolia, Himaragi, and Sayaka. So those 4. Who do you think he should be with? Because most likely he's going to end up with Himaragi. But who do y'all think that he should end up with? I would love to hear what y'all think. But as always, please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.